This is MoonInMental for the week of May 17th through 23rd, 2026. I'm Darlene Keelan, AIA member 2479, an AHA member, a researcher and practitioner applying clinical aromatherapy evidence to astrological transit work. This week's post is when your tabs multiply, and the transit it maps is the Gemini stack. Mercury, Sun, and Uranus all in Gemini at the same time, with Mars moving into Taurus midweek. This transit oil blend was built using the MoonInMental method, mapping the week's active transits to the emotional patterns they surface, identifying the nervous system state those patterns create, then selecting essential oils with peer-reviewed clinical evidence for that specific state. Full methodology is linked in the post. If you sat down to focus this week and ended up with 17 open tabs and a new doc that you didn't mean to open, I get it. It's not a discipline problem for you this week, it's a timing one. There's a rollerball oil blend that helps. You'll make it once on Sunday. Roll it on each morning. It'll soften the thought multiplier without sedating you. The mechanism is GABA support that calms you without slowing your hands down. What I'm saying next is not going to make sense though until you realize what it's interrupting in your life. The 3 planets land in Gemini in the same 6 days. Gemini is the speed of thought sign, the part of the chart that runs ideas, voice, conversation, branching attention. And when 3 planets stack there, every founder that you know is going to be jumpy that week. Here's the dry version of what's running. Monday, Mercury moves into Gemini. Tuesday into Wednesday, Mars moves into Taurus. Thursday, the Sun moves into Gemini. Pluto stays retrograde at 5 degrees Aquarius, and Uranus is already in Gemini at 1 degree. Each one of those things does something specific to a body for the week. Mercury in Gemini is voice and thought running plural. You're going to start a sentence and finish a different one. Mars in Taurus is the body slowing down. Drive is now becoming endurance. Push is becoming sustaining. Sun in Gemini opens Gemini season, and 3 planets now stack in the same sign that Uranus is already lighting up. The body's going to get slower, and at the same time, the mind is going to be going faster. That is how the week's going to go. When you stack those 3 together, this is what's going to feel like from inside your nervous system. You're going to sit down and write the email. You'll open 3 new docs. You're not going to be able to pick which one is the real plan for the email. You're going to promise 3 deliverables on a phone call before the original deliverable is finished. You're going to read the same paragraph 4 times because your eyes are tracking, but your mind is already on the next thing. Your hands are going to feel stuck, and your brain is going to feel a lot louder than it usually does. So if you spend Thursday afternoon feeling like your hands belong to a slower person than your head does, you're not crazy, you're not falling apart, you're being asked by the transit to let those 2 speeds coexist without forcing one or the other to win. This week's MoonInMental transit oil rollerball recipe, you make it once and apply it every morning. It's going to work passively all day. 2 drops of Marjoram oil. It does terpene and boral GABA receptor support. 2 drops of Melissa oil. It does GABA transaminase inhibition, which keeps the calming chemistry in the system longer. 2 drops of sweet orange oil, adenosine A2A modulation, cortisol drops within minutes of inhalation in 10 milliliters of carrier oil in a roller bottle. It's 6 drops in 10 milliliters to make approximately a 2.5% dilution. You'll roll it on your wrist in the morning before you check your phone, and that's the whole thing. If you feel yourself tensing up during the day on that week, just roll it on again. The blend is what you're going to be reaching for instead of biting your nails, refreshing the email for like the 3rd time, opening the bank app when you've already opened it 4 times already, opening a new doc that you don't need to look at, grabbing a sugary drink. The oil blend is going to act as a circuit breaker on that loop that your nervous system is running while it's trying to get used to those two speeds of your body versus your mind. It's the same blend, same pathway, and you can use it as often as you need it. The mechanism of the oils is not going to run out on you. Substitutions, if any of these are not on your shelf. If you don't have marjoram oil, you can use hinoki oil. It quiets the body without slowing your thinking down. Lavender oil softens the bracing the body holds when the mind is running fast. If you don't have Melissa oil, spearmint oil holds calm focus when the thoughts are racing. No sweet orange tangerine oil lifts the mood floor without making you wired. Or distilled lemon oil lifts the mood floor and brightens your cognition. If you swap to cold pressed lemon oil, though, keep it off your skin if it's going to be in direct sun. So what is this week going to feel like day by day? Sunday and Monday, the multiplier turns on. Your brain has more open tabs than you started with. Sunday afternoon, you tried to plan the week and ended up planning 4 different weeks instead. Monday morning, you sit down, you send the one email that's been waiting since Friday, and somehow at the same time, you managed to open 3 other new docs that had nothing to do with it first. You're drafting a newsletter, then deciding it should be 3 newsletters, starting none of them. You'll name a new project before the project that should have your attention is finished. Opening 17 browser tabs for one task and losing the one tab that you actually needed. 47 thoughts in a 6-minute span. For some of us, it has nothing to do with planets in Gemini. Mercury moving into Gemini on Monday is going to be the thought channel in its home sign for the first time this year. While you move through the multiplier, the blend is going to soften the bracing your shoulders pick up when your mind is running faster than your hands. It's going to lift the mood floor without speeding up your thoughts any further, and it keeps the calm, present feeling despite the transit without making you feeling sedated from it. Tuesday and Wednesday, the body still goes on while the mind speeds up. Your brain is full of ideas and your body is dragging you behind it. You can't get up off the couch the way you could last week. The drive that felt like fire during April feels like wading through mud right now. You're going to mistake this for laziness. It's not laziness. The to-do list has more items, but the list isn't getting shorter. You sit at your desk and the chair feels heavier than it did on Friday. You write 3 sentences and then stand up because your back hurts, and the thoughts are loud and your hands are slow. Mars moving into Taurus Tuesday into Wednesday, 7 weeks of Mars in Aries, fast, sharp, willing, is ending. Mars in Taurus is endurance, not a sprint like Aries. The body has switched modes, and this particular week, the mind did not get that memo yet. It needs this week to realize it. When you move through the split, the blend holds the calm focus for you when the looping in your brain wants to keep spinning. It lifts your sense of dread off of the floor that looping can cause and keeps your hands steady on the work that's actually in front of you. If you feel yourself tensing into a loop of thoughts about which one's the real one, am I falling behind, oh no, I don't even understand what's happening, roll on the oil again. It'll help interrupt that loop before the loop completes and brings your mood down into dread. Once this transit finishes teaching what it's teaching, you will not need the blend to interrupt the loop. The pathway of your transit work will stay with you. It'll be built by then. Thursday through Sunday, you will find your edit. By Thursday, the sun moves into Gemini and 3 planets are stacked in the speed of thought sign. Your mind will be the loudest on this days. But Friday morning, something else happens. You can hear which thought of all those thoughts is actually your thought. You're going to be closing the 14 tabs and keeping the 3 that actually answer the question. Sending the email that's been waiting. Letting the one idea be the actual idea you work with this week. the newsletter you were drafting actually finishes. The sun's ingress activates Gemini season. The full stack of Sun, Mercury, and Uranus is lit up. After those first 3 days of overload feeling, your brain has built the muscle to filter what to listen to, despite the noise. Not because the noise volume went down, but because the oil transit blend, has been working passively in the background to help you learn the difference between thinking a bunch of stuff and what you actually take action on. The difference between this version of you who started the week, the difference between the version of you at the end of this transit this week and the one that started this week is not versions of willpower. It is going to be a body that is caught up to its mind and learned how to coexist with speed changes of thoughts. This transit is not trying to ruin your life. It's helping you grow just in the most annoying way possible because it's designed to be worth it. Now I'll talk about how I use this week's transit in my own chart. Mercury hits my 7th house, the house of relationships, partnerships, and contracts, for the first time this year on Monday. The 7th house is also where I sometimes catch myself pitching 3 things to 3 different people before I know which one is the real pitch of the real person I should be talking to. The Gemini stack is going to amplify that loop in my chart. Mars in Taurus lands in my 6th house. Daily work, body routine, which means my body is going to want to slow down at the exact moment my mouth wants to send 17 pitches. This week, the collective blend is also my personal blend. Marjoram, Melissa, and Sweet Orange are all on my shelf. The pattern this week that is what I call do not pitch it yet loop. My brain finds 3 potential collaborators in 5 minutes and wants to message all of them before I've decided which project that they would actually belong to. I roll the blend on right after I get out of bed before I check anything. I feel myself tensing into that loop in mid-morning, so I'll probably reach for it again. The blend does not make the loop feeling go away. It interrupts it long enough for me to ask whether the pitch I'm making is real or whether my brain is just running a bunch of thoughts. The custom meditation that I do, that I talk about for custom transit alignment, walks through what the 7th house sounds like when it's not running on that don't pitch yet loop. It makes it quieter and slower. It helps me let one idea finish before reaching for the next person to share it with. The meditation is preparing the version of me that can hold a partnership conversation without rushing the timing on it. Prepare for the life that I'm stepping into and not the one that I'm leaving behind, of trying to spread myself out too thin with all that noise thoughts. The sneak peek for next week, May 24th through the 30th. Venus is mid-Cancer. Mercury is racing through Gemini. Mars is grounded in early Taurus. 3 planets at 3 different speeds in our nervous system. Your heart is going to want to go home. Your mind is going to want to not stop. And your hands have finally slowed down. We're going to be using rose oil and some other stuff. Rose oil softens the heart protection mode without flattening you. HPA cortisol reduction with parasympathetic support. Using transit oils are always optional. Your body experiencing these transits is not.